There are places that you visit that you simply see, and then there are places that you feel long after you leave. My time in Cape Town wasn't defined by the beauty of the Cape or the tourist landmarks, although I found them fascinating and beautiful. It was defined by witnessing both the incredible diversity of the country and the incredible disparity and devastation that occurred during apartheid. The District 6 Museum in Cape Town, South Africa, tells a part of this story. A single room on the edge of a city, the District 6 Museum provided insight in its history. Hi everybody, I'm Dr. B. Welcome to the FHL Travel Channel. Today, I'm going to share with you a little bit about my visit to the District 6 Museum in Cape Town, South Africa. If you're ever there, you may want to stop in and have a visit. When you walk inside, the first thing that hits you is the floor. It's a massive map of old streets, hand-painted. As you walk across it, you're reading names of roads that don't exist on any modern map. They were erased. Entire communities, vibrant and multi-generational, were legally defined out of existence. Reflecting on it now, the scale of what happened there still feels impossible to grasp. We aren't talking about a natural disaster. We're talking about a systemic, state-sponsored annihilation of a community. Looking back at the images I captured of that floor, that massive, sprawling layout of streets that no longer exists, I remember the overwhelming sense of disorientation. You're walking on a ghost of a neighborhood, tracing paths to homes that were wiped off the map with the stroke of a pen. A sense of sadness overwhelms you. How could anyone do this? It's a sobering reality and a story that will never be forgotten by the generations who endured these atrocities. While you can see most of the displays in an hour or so, a 2 or 3 hour visit allows time to read and absorb the stories of the people of Cape Town. A guided tour can be prearranged, see the link in the bio, for only about $10. Our tour guide explained exactly where the District 6 neighborhood was and what parts were demolished. Look at the faces. Look at their lives. This neighborhood was a place of music, intellect, hospitals, schools, and deep community roots. Nightclubs and hardworking families filled the areas. Families that were torn apart, some never again to be reunited. District 6, a neighborhood in Cape Town, wasn't just a neighborhood. It was a cross-section of humanity. And then the state decided that these human lives were an inconvenience to their social engineering. The world looked on in silence while the people of this neighborhood suffered. They were forced to move to the Khayelitsha Plain and Mitchell's Plain, salt flats, over on the other side of Table Mountain. Khayelitsha, which today is a large township in the Cape Cape Flats, is located about 25 kilometers southeast of central Cape Town. When these people were moved there, they were cut off from transportation, cut off from the ability to get to their jobs in Cape Town, and forced to be resettled as black residents classified as legal from overcrowded informal settlements. Before 1966, District 6 was a vibrant multicultural hub. It was a place of deep Christian and Muslim roots, a melting pot of European, African, and Asian lineages. It was working class, yes, but was rich in culture. It was the birthplace of Cape jazz. But in the eyes of the nationalist government, this was a black spot in what they deemed a white-only area. They didn't just want the land. They wanted to dismantle the society that had naturally formed there. These images of bulldozers clearing homes are the most visceral evidence of a nation turning on its own posterity. Families were given mere days to vacate homes that had been in their bloodlines for generations. The state didn't care about the sanctity of the hearth. They treated human beings as biologic variables to be sorted, indexed, and relocated to the Khayelitsha plains. It was a desolate expanse of sand, far from the economic heart of the city. They were moved to structures made of corrugated iron, stripped of their heritage and their social cohesion. The cruelty was granular. The Population Registration Act forced every South African into an arbitrary caste. They used pseudo-scientific, and I'm a scientist, so I can tell you it was pseudo-scientific, measuring the texture of a person's hair, the shape of their features, just to decide if a child would attend a decent school or be condemned to the fringes. Imagine the violation of the family unit when a government bureaucrat tells a family that their own children are legally different based on a visual assessment. It was an attack on the biologic reality of the family. It was an attack on everything sacred and kind and good in these families. The segregation extended to the very threshold of life and death. Hospital structures were strictly segregated, and in many cases, equipment and resources were intentionally under-resourced for the non-white facilities. And there's still effects of that today. As someone who has worked in medicine, the thought of withholding life-saving care based on the color of a patient's skin is the ultimate betrayal of the Hippocratic tradition. This was a system that weaponized the cold against the vulnerable. You might ask, why go to a museum to look at rubble and old street signs? Why not focus on the sun and the scenery of the Cape? Well, for me, it's because history is not just a static object you study in a textbook. It's a warning. If you ever find yourself in Cape Town, you owe it to your understanding of human nature to walk that floor map in the District 6 Museum. It's a masterclass in how institutional power, when detached from moral accountability, can systematically erode the foundations of a nation. We've seen it happen again. We've seen it happen again in modern history. But that's not the point of this video. It's just a warning. You visit the District 6 Museum not to perform grief tourism, but to witness the resilience of the people who refused to be erased. You go there to see the street signs that were savaged from the mud, to look at the wedding photos of families who lost everything but their dignity. You go there to understand that when a government views its people as a problem to be moved rather than a heritage to be protected, the outcome is always catastrophe. It's an institutionalized shame that South Africa bears, but it's an education for all of us. We have to learn from history, from those who were bulldozed or expected to see the same erosion happen in our own time. It's a sobering, essential pilgrimage for anyone who values the reality of nations and the sanctity of the family home. As I sift through these memories, I'm reminded why we travel. It isn't to take photos of ourselves in front of landmarks. It's to bear witness. We go to these places to honor the people who were displaced, to learn the cost of apathy, and to remember that wherever we go, our true foundation, our community, our family, our faith, our blood, is the most precious thing we possess. Don't take your home for granted. Others have had theirs stolen, and they spent the rest of their lives trying to find their way back. Cape Town today is a thriving metropolis. It's a beautiful destination for tourists. If you get a chance to visit, I hope you get a chance to take some time and look deeper at the culture and the people who actually live there. Don't just spend your time at the beaches. Take some time and go to the District 6 Museum. Let me know how it affects you. Have a great day. God bless.